What's up? What's up? What's up? Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. How's everybody doing? I keep a little bit of background music on so that I can hear something while y'all just see me. How's it going, Craig? My guy. Let's make this a little brighter. What's up? Mr. Blaze, how are you doing?
Top of the morning.
Can you hear me? Can you see me?
I can see you. I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Got you. Got you. Got you. Good morning, everyone. David, Karen Camel, Dylan. Dylan, haven't seen you in a while. Good morning. Paul. What's up, Paul? Maybe it's just because I haven't been in here in a while, but I have not seen those names in a while. So good morning. Happy New Year, everybody. Blaze, where are you going right now?
We just dropped Brody off back at daycare, so we are in a good place.
Nice. Nice. Yeah, I am taking Bentley with me into work today, and I'm going to drop him off with the grandparents. He is an absolute handful. Handful.
Yep.
Jeez, wow. Handful right now. Like it's just he's just relentless. I don't know what it is.
Is he just like bouncing off the walls, or what's he doing?
Yeah, it's never ending energy. It's never ending, like mom, dad, like can we do this, like it's just there's all like he's a chatterbox, he's just talking. um and it just almost never stops. I mean, he definitely gets in his little grooves, where he'll jump on the iPad, but you know weirdly enough, it's one of those things where like you never know what you have until it's gone. Like like it's like they say, like, your kids are only gonna snuggle with you or give you hugs for so long, and then they're gonna not, right? So like earlier in the year, kid was addicted to his iPad, and like I think I used to tell you guys that like he was on his iPad way too much, and now like he just turns it off, and he wants to color, and he wants to do this, and he wants to do it all with us. So I know it starts out like me saying like it as a complaint, but it is really like a good thing. Like it was a thing that I think me and Ryan, we were talking about before, like how I'm missing time with him, and now I'm spending a good amount of time with him. But you get to the end of the day, like 8 p.m., and he's still going, and you're just like, oh my god, dude. But yeah.
No, I get it. Our youngest is like that, where he just wants us to do everything with him.
Yeah.
Luckily, his cousins that like 3 weeks younger than him, and they play so well together. So he comes to our house a lot, and we ditch him a lot at our my sister-in-law and brother-in-law's house, which is amazing because then we keep calling him. And they're like, "Is he okay? Is he bothering you guys?" And they're like, "No, he's fine. Like, why? I don't know why you say this. He's like sweet angel."
Yeah. It's the like there's a reading in the Daily Dads. I think we did it, but it's something where it's like you're the toy.
Yep.
Like it's that version of it. And it's definitely the parents get it the most. Grandparents a little bit, and like friends, aunts and uncles a little bit, but it's the parent, like teachers, like, a tiny amount. And it's definitely like in our house, it's mom a little bit more than dad. Um, so yeah, yeah, it's one of those things that it's hard to explain to anyone else, unless they have their own, of course. But yeah.
I'm there with you.
hmm what's going on? You wanna drop some gratitude?
Yeah. So I was a little worried there was going to be a lot of crying today because since my 3-year-old has only been to daycare like 2 days in the past 4 weeks because he had his tonsils out and was home for 2 weeks,
Yeah,
like
yeah, yep.
to go into daycare. But he, good morning, Motor Totem. Happy New Year. He, we got egg sandwiches and we got donuts, and he ate it on the way to school. And when I dropped him off, I walked him inside and gave him a smooch and dumped him off, and he didn't cry. He walked right to his teacher and was showing her his car and stuff. So my gratitude today is just like that piece of dropping him off. And I'd like to think it's because I went to yoga today, so he's feeding off my zen. But regardless,
Probably.
it's just been a good morning so far. So, and especially it ties in today because there was a moment today where like I was trying to get him out of bed, and he's like, "I want to snuggle with mommy," and like I almost was like, "No, you have to get out of bed right now. I have stuff to do." But like I avoided it, and we made it out of the house all right.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's really good.
How about you?
Oh, for me, since my day starts here, my gratitude is just reflecting on yesterday. So yesterday, day off, just the one thing I do like about the New Year's is that like the holidays the night before, and if you don't go hard enough, you have like this free day off, right? So like most people work New Year's Eve, they get off a little early, they do their partying, and again, if you don't go hard, you have this free day off to do whatever. And it's a very like empty day, like parks are empty, stores are empty. Like I went through and did a couple of errands, and then I started a new challenge. I was, on top of all of that, I had like family quality time with each one of the kids. I had my alone time to get like my stuff done. I had a good, like the things that I saved to the end on my list, like not on purpose, just by accident, was reading and messing around with AI. And I had like a good, like solid 15 minutes that got into a flow with AI, and I was just like doing stuff. So that was fun way to cap the night, and still got to bed nice and early, feel rested. So just grateful for an overall like really good day, really good first day of the year.
That is awesome. I was kind of in this boat yesterday because my wife and I went out New Year's Eve, but we were still in bed asleep by 10:30, and yesterday was just like a really chill. The kids watched a lot of TV yesterday, but that's fine. I got to work on some X stuff that I wanted to work on, and got to start working again today for my real job. But that's okay. That's part of life. And Heather's getting antsy though, so we're shipping her out today. Uh, she's going to California with some girlfriends for a couple of days, so that'll be good. And I hope she comes back rejuvenated. And oh, she's gonna be by you. Hey, can you go say what's up to Dom and give him a high five?
She's coming out here.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Um,
awesome.
yeah. So I don't know where,
Sweet.
but that's what she's doing.
Very cool. Very cool.
What's the theme in the Daily Dad for January?
So it was teach by example. The
Oh
only method, the only method that works.
man, that is a good one. That's tough because I think about my professional life, and then I also think about my home life. So yeah, that's huge.
Yeah, I was gonna say like between the three, the three other people that are on screen most often, like you being a teacher right now, Jason a teacher, and then Ryan being a I'd call him a teacher, but like basically like an instructional coach. Coach is the word. Like this month is what is made for you gents. Um I today's reading is another one of those ones that like hits me hard. Oh, here we go. Username crisis, same old Jay. Oh, Motor Totem is Jason. All right.
Oh hey Jay, Sin
He's
Motor
got
Totem.
got got a another gamer tag on Twitch from his old life that we don't know about. We should
Now
dig into that history.
now I want to know like what's a Motor Totem? Why did you choose Motor Totem? Is it Native American related? And I think it's very interesting because motor was like a car. I don't know. I'm going all over the place, but here we are.
Yeah. Sorry, that distracted me. So what I was saying is today's one of those readings that is is a rough reminder for me because like where it's it's basically like your kids are watching you, right? Like you don't think they're watching and absorbing everything, but they really are. Like you said, how you came back from yoga with with probably a lighter energy, and
Yeah.
your kid most likely soaked up on it. That is a true thing. Like, and I don't think I ever knew that or realized that until I really started soaking in these readings. And so I know that that has changed the household a little bit, but unfortunately the previous years of six I have a 16-year-old, so those previous, whatever you want to call it, 14, 15 years, I've not been this person. So I have been mean, sarcastic, like insulting, like all those like kind of negative words. And so that has made its way through my family, and my kids, have those things thanks to me. And now it's my job to, undo that in myself, which I'm working on, and then spread that throughout the house, which I'm working on. Uh, so yeah, these are the ones where it's like, man, where was this book 16 years ago? Um,
Yeah. Because I know that because I grew up in the church a lot and like Bible and everything like that, which is a lot of good wisdom in there. But from the same perspective, I think that the Daily Dad's great because I think that it's a lot more like based in our time and what we're actually dealing with on a day-to-day basis because interactions are so different now. And like, but also like today's reading, if you guys don't know, it's called Never Let Them See You Do This. And I feel like that might have been a title for a different day too, or something close, or he says it quite a bit throughout the book. But I think about what's the example that they use today is like some student who went to the school of Plato to study philosophy, was basically home on a school break, and he saw his dad yell at somebody, and he said it was a violent outburst. So like I see somebody like, WTF, what are you doing? Da, 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 da. And like, did it get physically violent? I don't know. But then he thought to himself, like, I've never seen anyone act like that at the school of Plato. And so I think about when I've yelled at my kids, like, I'm sure the teachers have yelled at their students before, but I don't think that my kids have seen that very much, if at all. And what I'd never want them to think is school or any place else is like safer. I always want them to feel safe under my roof in those four walls. Um, and I know, like, if Ryan was here, I know he's talked about this, but like, and I know I could draw some similar instances in my life where maybe I did feel, I don't want to say safer, but there's things that you like about going to your neighbor's or friend's house that you might like more than at your own house, whether it's like they eat TV in front of, oh, your ears must have been burned. I just talked about you. Um, but going to someone's house and like maybe they had video games, they didn't, maybe they sat down more as a family. I remember my one friend growing up, they sat down to eat as a family every single night, and that's something that like we don't do very often, which I'd like love to try and do more of. It's just really hard with everyone's hectic schedules, and I know I'm making excuses already in the new year. um, but from the other perspective, I think it's good to experience other people's homes, lives, and cultures and everything like that. So the shares by me. I hope I'm not getting pulled over. But good morning. Good to see you guys.
Good morning, Ryan.
Hey guys, I was backstage and then I was like, oh wow, this is just nice to listen to from this point of view. How are you
And then
guys?
I
Good
and then I
morning. Good
pulled and
morning.
then I and then I pulled you up here because I was like, "Who's that? Who's that back there?"
I was like, hey. Um, sorry guys, I was in the middle of biking and there's no bikes available in the spots I usually need them, so I had to go further this morning.
And New Year, everyone wants to bike everywhere. It's part of their New Year's resolution.
I think that's what it is. It's also like so cold right now, so I like bundled up, and like bundling up is a job in itself. You know what I mean?
Um,
Yes, sir. So Ryan, you
Blaze,
got
you
some.
were you're talking about dinners. You're talking about family
We
gatherings.
so part of the today's reading was talking about how like what I was alluding to was if I yell at my kids every single day and then they go to a friend's house and they're just like chill, no one's yelling or anything like that, they might feel safer there than at my house. But then we're just talking about how like maybe we like to spend more time at a friend's house for different reasons growing up. Um, I remember I used to go to my neighbor's house because he had a Super Nintendo and I didn't. And then at some point he called me out. He's like, "You just come over and play my Super Nintendo." And I'm like,
Hundo.
"You're not wrong, man."
That's like when you push him out of his room and close the door slowly. Maybe. I remember I used to go to a friend's house all the time, and it was mainly because they had snacks. So I also loved him as a friend, but what kept me coming back was the snacks. They always had a full pantry, and so that was always something that was like really amazing to me. And I was like, I like this. This is a good feeling.
The sheriff is just like parked here in the same parking lot as me now, and I can't tell if they like. I always think like parks are the best place, like where people do drug deals. So I don't know if they're like, what's it called when they're like watching somebody? Are they canvassing me right now?
Just ask if they're dads and what their gratitude is for the day.
Well, they're like 50 yards away, so I'm trying to figure out. Maybe they want to share their gratitude. I don't know.
If you turn your hat around, they'll know that you're an ex-influencer, and they'll be like, "Oh, he's just live streaming." Of course.
I'm really disappointed that no one's asked me yet. Like, oh, do you work for X? Well, I'm almost monetized, so I mean, I guess I'm training. So
I feel like right now working for X feels like a little bit of a government secret. Like it's a little bit of like it's a little CIA-ish. It's like you work for X. Don't tell anyone. Maybe I might. I don't know. Feels that way a little bit. I might be matching you soon. I may have grabbed a hat in celebration of achievements. So,
good for you.
although I do wear just black hats regardless, so it might not look any different than what's usually going on.
Yeah. Do you want to share?
Can I ask you guys a question though?
Only if you share gratitude first.
I can share gratitude. I always like to share gratitude. I think it's important. I think where I mostly want to connect it to today, and I tried really hard today not to like read this in terms of like health and like eating and moving your body, because I really need to push myself out of that mindset, which I thought was important. And so when I'm thinking about gratitude, I think that one thing that I've actually alluded to in some past messages was the idea of needing to refocus on the foundation of respect within my marriage and just the relationship that I have with Lauren, just because it's like we are different people than we were, 8 years ago before Sloan. So we are learning about each other. And I think that, for anyone to be like, oh, I've been the same person my whole life. I'm like, well, then you're either lying or like, I don't know what's going on with you, but like we all change and that's okay.
That's it.
Yeah.
Serial killer.
So I am prefacing this with, I think lately I've been trying to do my best to come from a place of respect. Like I talk about curiosity and like, all these other things that I want to come from, and always just trying to get better at that, but coming from a place of respect. And so I think grateful how my youngest in particular, not that my oldest hasn't, but my youngest, I feel like, is picking up on things a little bit more. She's more of a sponge at the moment. But how much she started to use polite language and manners, because I think that they see us modeling some of that at home. So that's what I'm grateful for.
Love it. Now you can ask your question. And I want to say, going into the year, I think a lot of it, probably 90 to 95% of New Year's resolutions are focusing on yourself. Not saying that your New Year's resolution or anything like that is but I think making sure to focus on those relationships with people as well, whether it's your wife, kids, coworkers, or anything like that.
Oh, by the way, that's well said, please. You want to see something?
Yeah.
Sometimes I get bored and I get creative when I need to. So my idea was when we ask certain questions and whoever is ready for it, they can come up and just hop on the couch.
How
So whoever
cool.
wants to come up and hop on the Daily Guide's couch, and then Blaze will set off the lights, and then it'll be like a party. So, but people can choose the couch they might want to come up on. So if anyone wants to come and answer a question, maybe they're not feeling a big, leather antique couch. Maybe they just want to go for a comfortable couch. Maybe they want to hop on this over here. Maybe they're feeling a little bit of color, a little bit of a I don't know, a Brad Pitt kind of like Tyler Durden kind of like red jacket kind of feel, so that we can go on this couch instead. Now, this is the casting couch kind of couch, but we have to watch out for this one. We don't know what's been on it, but we can definitely hop on it and still have a conversation.
No, that's like the
So
disgusting couch from the 1980s that's in your like parents' basement. That like you
I
can't.
like this one though.
I like that
Do you
one.
not like this one, please? You don't like this one?
Where what are those things that my wife always wants us to get that like you push them together and they make
Money?
different shapes? That was a good one. You know what I'm talking about? It's like couch Tetris.
Oh, okay.
Couch Tetris.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah. Actually, I saw that recently, and I was like, I think that might be good for our house. But then again, you get like infatuated by what you see right away. So I was like, maybe I'll just give this a little bit of time before I order it.
What's it called?
Sectional?
Is it but it's like it's something. I think there's like a sectional something else.
Couch can you help,
But
like
wait, hold on, stop. I want to ask this really quickly. I need this. I need this for me. I need this for me. I have to walk away each morning knowing that there's definitely some good structure. And now I think I blow up this structure. It's not always that great. But one thing I always try and get to in my head, at least, is like some sort of like practical tip or guideline or something that we can follow. And you guys can be like, shut up. We don't want this on the couch right now. But I think one thing I wanted to know about, do you guys have any of these like practical tips for parenting in terms of what you can do so that if your kids are watching, how they might react to you or pick up on some of your habits? Do you guys have at least one?
I feel like because if you're about to yell at your kids, it's like I always forget the word, but it's like it's something in your head. It's like a aim legata hijacking. It's because you have this whole flow in your head about what's supposed to happen, and then when it's not happening, then suddenly a switch is flipped and you're like, oh my gosh, I can't believe that's happening. But it's like going into that and trying to not have those expectations. So I like, what's the easiest thing you can do if you're trying to work on just even one like bad thing and get rid of it? And I think that's just putting a rubber band around your wrist. And every time you get to that piece where you're about to like lose it, maybe on your children or somebody else, you just flick that and you're like, okay, maybe that's the snap back into reality that I need. I think the other big one for me is because I try to be really reflective on when I'm going to that dark place. And sometimes I tell Heather, listen, I need to walk away from you and the kids right now, or I'm going to go to a place that I don't want to go. And then I just go for a walk, go outside, disappear, and then come back 5-10 minutes later.
I think I needed to hear that because I think sometimes the best spot for you to be for your kids is not in front of your kids. When maybe you're just not feeling that great. Because I think a lot of people are like, no, I'm going to fix this. And maybe I'm projecting on this. I'm going to fix this. This is going to be good. I definitely have the answers. And then it's like, well, maybe if you just left, it could actually work out better. And I think I've needed that too. It's kind of like that pause. So that was great. I needed that. Thank you.
There was Heather and I got in like one really big fight this past year. And I'm like, I'm leaving. And I got in the car and I left. And then I was gone for like 10 minutes. And then she calls me and she's like, are you ever going to come back home? And I was literally just at the grocery store buying fruit. And I'm like, yeah, I'm at the grocery store buying fruit. Do you want me to bring you home anything? And we're good now. So there you go.
Dom, do you have any practical tips on this scenario?
I mean, definitely can agree with the ones that were just said. I might have to go get a rubber band because I am definitely the one that, that trigger happens and then I get into it like with the first whatever reaction, and then I have this issue where I can't get myself out of it. Like I just keep coming back, like to try to like
Mm.
settle it, but I'm not in a good place. Amy does a good job of, trying to push me away is not the greatest term, but to try to like get me to get out of the situation. But sometimes I just can't. So yeah, maybe that'll help me. I don't know, some practical tips for making sure that you're, I think Ryan, you asked me the question the other day of like, letting my children, making sure that my children see me doing the things that I'm doing or see me in my
Mm.
improved state. So you and I broached the topic of like me, putting this live on my socials. So I discussed that with my wife the other day, made some movement on that like right away. I put a lot of Instagram stories and posts on social yesterday. My kids, like I tagged my kids and stuff because my older girls both are on Instagram. So I'm trying to get out there with them and let everyone know what was going on. So yeah, I think it's just like kind of like what we learned in some of the readings is just like let them know what you're doing more instead. Like I have a problem where I come home and I ask them, like I would just simply ask them how their day was, and you kind of get nothing out of them. But instead of like having that be the end of the conversation, just start telling them about your day, and maybe it sparks something about their day, and you all of a sudden are listening to a full-on conversation about what they're doing. So it's
Oh
like,
man, what a good point. That's such a good point that sometimes I feel like I'm just asking questions and they're like, shut up, shut up.
yeah,
And it's like, well, why don't I just share first? And then like if you feel like sharing, then you can maybe like mirroring kind of what you want. That's such a good reminder.
yeah, exactly. And then the other thing I've
It's,
been doing is I've been whistling and catcalling my wife a lot lately.
Oh, love that.
so so I'm not doing it for any other reason than like showing her that I care or that I am attracted to her and all those things. But it's funny the way that the kids react, because as soon as they hear the whistle, they're just like, Dad, gross. And then once they do that, and like she comes down and we're like, should we kiss? And they're like, no.
That's awesome.
that's really cute, man. I think that's a really under represented part of many relationships. So it's
Well,
cool.
I wanted to bring up one thing, and because I thought about this listening to the reading, I'm so glad that you brought that up. Because I gave this advice to a friend like 10 years ago, and it's one of those things where you tell somebody something and you forget about it, and they tell you how impactful it was. But one of the things, and I need the reminder for me constantly is, especially with your girls, Dom, and then my daughter, and you have girls too, Ryan, is your girls are going to learn how to be treated by men on how you treat your wife.
Yes.
And I mean, can you grow out of that if it's unhealthy? Yeah, absolutely. But that's the first interaction that they're going to see, like what a marriage should or shouldn't be, how they should be treated. And so that the reminder to me is always like, because if anybody doesn't know, Heather has more money than me. And so sometimes I feel silly buying her flowers because it's like she could buy herself flowers, but it's like the thought and like going through the process and everything like that. And then my kid's singing that as well. So I don't think MP's here today, but I know that he gets his wife flowers once a month, always on a random day. I'm always curious if he's ever done like the last day of the month and the first day of the month, so it's like back to back flowers. But that's my thoughts and words. And Ryan left, but I still love you, Ryan.
Rage quit. He's like, we have to leave at 30. We have to leave at the top of the hour. He probably had a meeting to go to. Um,
But
yeah,
yeah, so I think that's a good note to end on. Hearts of gratitude, mugs of coffee, and hope everybody has a great. Oh yeah, there we go.
you guys, everyone have a great day. See you. Thank you for hanging with us.
Yep.
Talk
Happy
to
New
you
Year.
guys later.
Peace.